What's going on, guys? It's your boy Vega, and in today's video we'll be going over the top sneaker releases for the month of June. Now keep in mind, this is not every single release. These are just the most anticipated ones in my opinion, of course, the ones that have a little bit of a buzz going on. Also, release dates are subject to change, so don't kill me in the comment section. I don't control all of that, you feel me? Also, I'm gonna go ahead and start it off with some Jordan releases first, and then hit you with a sprinkle of the rest of the sneaker brands. So with all of that out of the way, let's get right into the video. So the first release that I want to talk about is the Jordan 5 Maniere in the Violet Ore colorway, set to be releasing on June 7th for $225. And I do that because they were supposed to release last month, and that's why I always say release dates are subject to change. Either way, I'm going to say the same thing I said last month. They look very good, very nice. Love the 23 in the quarter panel. Love when they do that with Jordan 5s. The Nike Air branding in the back. Of course, we cannot expect nothing but good quality from Maniere, but again, the same old color blocking. The same old maroon, white, and black colorway. Like, how many Jordan collabs we need with the same old color blocking? That's just my opinion, of course, but I was actually pretty excited when they dropped that Jordan 5 in that blue colorway, which was pretty different from Maniere, and that's actually something that wind up getting me excited and enough to actually buy it, because they look very different. They got the perfect formula, good quality, good materials. So look, at the end of the day, go ahead and cop. They are actually pretty nice, but for me in this situation, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. Woo! This is actually a fire colorway, a heater for sure, and that is the Jordan 14 in the Ferrari colorway, set to be releasing on June 11th for $210. Fire sneaker for sure. I actually used to have it back in the day, and yeah, I'll explain what happened, but either way, that red suede, that little yellow Jordan type of Ferrari logo right there in the top portion of the sneaker. Carbon fiber type of materials. I mean, they look, but it's not really carbon fiber. It looks very clean. If you're a car enthusiast, I don't see why you wouldn't go for these. If you love red, I don't see why you wouldn't go for these. And they actually have different Jordan Ferrari type of colorways maybe dropping in the near future, but this is the OG Ferrari colorway, and I think that they look very good. I used to have them, like I mentioned before. I put them in consignment, and for whatever reason, the shop decided to go out of business, and yeah, shit out of luck, right? But either way, the sneaker looks very good. Truth of the matter is that the whole reason why I put them there to begin with was the fact that it was an all red sneaker. I already had other red sneakers and I wasn't really rocking them as much, but it's a beautiful sneaker for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I get them, but in my opinion, these are definitely a cop. The next release is the Jordan 1 Low in the rust pink colorway, set to be releasing on June 21st for $140. Pretty clean sneaker if you were to ask me. I don't think that it's the best sneaker for the summertime. I don't think it's the best sneaker for the month of June, but maybe if you get them on sale or something like that, it could be a good summer shoe for sure. Of course, they have the black toe type of color blocking, where they have more white and black in the toe box and then the actual color in the back. I feel that they dropped the highs like 5 years ago, and it was actually pretty sought after. It maintained their value as well. I don't think that that's going to be the case for the lows, but at the end, I think it's a pretty clean sneaker if you were to ask me. Again, if you like this whole type of salmon rusty type of pink colorway. For me specifically, you already know the vibes, and based on the tone of my voice, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a pass. Every time I see this sneaker, it's literally the same reaction. They're just so beautiful, and they were supposed to release back in April. I was really sad that they didn't. Now we're getting them in June. You probably already know what I'm talking about. The heater of the month, in my opinion, and that is the Jordan 5 Grapes, set to be releasing on June 21st, hopefully, for $210. Wow, man, this is just a perfect sneaker for spring and summertime. I just want to say that right off the bat. The fact that we're finally getting them now with the Nike Air branding, you know, an official pair, because they did release that whole Fresh Prince version that had no laces. That was not the vibe, but this one right here is the correct way to go for sure, man. They were famous, of course, by Will Smith in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, especially in the first couple of seasons. It was such a vibe for sure, a 90s favorite, and in my opinion, one of the best Jordan 5s, probably top 3 for sure. I mean, look at them, white, purple, teal, Nike Air branding in teal in the back. I mean, when do you see Jordans that are actually in this type of color blocking and colorway? You hardly see that, and the Jordan 5 Grapes, in my opinion, is a perfect execution of that color. Again, perfect for the summer. You already know the vibes. I'm pretty excited. This is definitely a cop.
Nike's on my feet, keep my cipher complete.
Alright, so in this portion of the video, I want to go ahead and talk about other sneaker brands as well, other than Jordan brand. And the first one that I want to talk about is the New Balance 2002R in the Protection Pack colorway, set to be releasing on June 4th for $150. A lot of people actually like this Protection Pack. It's pretty much what started the whole distressing type of pairs by New Balance, and they're releasing it in the 3 OG colorways. The Rain Cloud, which is pretty much the gray colorway. We have the charcoal gray type of pair, and then we have that white creamish pair, which gets pretty much overshadowed a lot by the gray pair. But either way, is definitely a classic by New Balance, one that it was pretty much hyped back then. I think it was released back in 2021 or 22, and now we're getting it in 2025. Now, I do have a lot of New Balances, and I also have something very similar in a 1906R pair, but at the end of the day, if you like it, go for them for sure, because I feel that they are a classic. But for me specifically, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. Up next, we have a classic for sure, and that is the Nike Air Max Uptempos 95s in the Chicago colorway, set to be releasing on June 5th for $160. Made famous by Scottie Pippen himself back in 95 and 96. The Bulls were just killing it, and also Tony Kukoc used to rock them as well, if you were into that whole sneaker history. But either way, man, these are fire for sure. White leather in the top portion, Nike red swoosh right there, black as well, kind of giving it that Concord almost type of feel, type of vibe. Little red swoosh right there on top of the Air unit as well, and little red bungee pull tabs as well. Classic Uptempo 95 colorway. If you're into 90 basketball sneakers, this one is definitely one to get. And you know what, I was gonna say pass, but I kind of want them just because it's a nice black and white red colorway. It goes with the black Bulls jerseys very well, so cop for sure. So unfortunately, the release date of the OG colorway got postponed, but at least we have this one that looks pretty good, and some people actually prefer this one, of course, and that is the Nike Air Max 95 in the bright Mandarin colorway. They're also giving it that big bubble treatment, and it's going to be releasing on June 6th for $180. Very clean sneaker. I think it looks very fire, and yeah, it might be a good alternative to the OG colorway since we're not getting it till 2026. But yeah, man, the Air Max 95 is one of those sneakers that I never really gotten into. I don't have no 95s, but I don't want to settle for these. I feel that they look very clean, and if I can get these maybe on sale, I would probably cop just to have an Air Max 95, but I feel like I'm gonna wait for the OG colorway. So as you can see, I'm probably gonna go ahead and say pass, and you're right, sir. For me, it's gonna be a pass. All right, so this is kind of a lazy type of release, but sure, let's talk about it. The Maniere Nike Air Force One in the triple white colorway, set to be releasing on June 6th for $150. I'm gonna say again, June 6th, because they might just go ahead and change the date, but it is lazy. Again, a triple white colorway. How many triple white Air Force Ones we need from different type of people like Drake and I don't know, other collabs? But we have this one, and the only difference is, well, not the only difference, but the major difference is that they have kind of a translucent sole at the bottom, which I don't even like either, because that's gonna turn yellow and it's just gonna look disgusting. And yeah, it just doesn't work with a triple white crispy pair of Air Force Ones. That's just my opinion. I'd rather have a crispy white of Air Force Ones, and if I can get 10, I will go ahead and do so they could always be crispy white. But of course, they have the Maniere in the midsole right there. Very good quality. So if you want a nice Air Force One with very good quality, of course, you can get these for sure, other than the, you know, horrible quality that we get from a regular Nike Air Force One. But at the end of the day, again, it's a triple white Air Force One. How many of those we need? I don't know. I don't know how many you need, but for me specifically, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. All right, ballers, this one is for you. Kobe fans, this one is for you. We have the Kobe 4 Protros in the CHBL colorway, set to be releasing on June 6th for $190. Very bright, very nice colorway for playing basketball, not to rock casually. You know, I feel like if I am gonna rock something casually, it'll be the Kobe's, but these ball for sure, and I think that they look very good. The whole yellow bright colorway with nice speckles in the midsole right there. You know, the Kobe 4 is not necessarily the most popular, but I heard that it is actually a pretty decent sneaker to ball in. Of course, it's not a Kobe 6 or even a Kobe 8, but at the end, if you are a Kobe fan, I feel like you're gonna go for these. And the fact that we're now getting more Kobe's here and there, these might not necessarily sell out instantly, but at the same time, if you do like them, don't sleep on them. For me specifically, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. Is it me, or is Nike not pushing the SB Dunk Low model a little bit more than usual in 2025? That's just kind of my observation, but either way, we have the Nike SB Dunk Lows in the red Stardust colorway, set to be releasing on June 12th for $115. Pretty interesting colorway, one that I feel that matches almost with every season. Like, you could easily rock these in fall time. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that ceramic colorway that used to be like orangey and green. At least the materials kind of feel that way as well. But for me specifically, I don't know if I like these a lot. I do like the color blocking. I think it's a pretty interesting type of colorway. Maybe if I was to be skating, I'll probably just rock them for skating, not necessarily casually. But for me specifically, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a pass. Guess what? We have another Nike Dunk Low, and this time is a collab, so I do like him a little bit more. Call me a hype beast, whatever. Either way, we have the Limosine Skateboards in the Nike SB Dunk Low colorway, set to be releasing on June 19th for $135. Pretty interesting sneaker, one that looks a little bit like a basketball, but then when I started reading a little bit more on them, it's actually made after a football. That's why you get that brownish reddish type of tone of leather, and it looks pretty nice. They look simple, but at the same time they do stand out. I don't feel like I will get a lot of wear out of them if I was to rock them casually, but maybe in a business office environment, maybe rock those black laces and call it a day. Either way, they look pretty nice as well. So if you do like them, if you skate as well, this is a cop for sure. For me, it's gonna be a cop. That's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the top sneaker releases for the month of June, and good luck to y'all if you're trying to get anything this month. I feel that it should be a pretty light month, and the only heaters in my opinion have to be the Jordan 5 Grapes and the Jordan 14 Ferraris. And also remember, release dates are subject to change, but if you made it all the way through, you are the real MVP. So go ahead and comment Sneakerhead, and that will let me know that you made it all the way through, that you messed with your boy pretty heavy as well. Also, if you made it all the way through, go ahead and hit subscribe, smash the like button. It really does go a long way. And also, if you made it all the way through, go ahead and check out my social media pages right there. With all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.